morning, everyone. Wherever you're joining us from, we hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. My name is Caitlin Duffy, and in addition to being a proud USD alum, I'm lucky enough to get to work with the USD Foundation, President Gestring, and an incredible network of passionate USD women as the Director of Development for the USD Women in Philanthropy program. While this event may look a little bit different than last year, and we wish we could all be together in person, I am so honored and excited to welcome you to our second annual USD Women in Philanthropy event. We are thrilled to have you with us this morning to celebrate our shared passion for USD, the inspiring impact you've already made, and join us in discovering the power of philanthropy and the truly incredible things that happen when women come together. One way we can come together today is virtually through social media. We would love to be able to see you all celebrating USD Women today, so please share your photos on social media using the hashtag USD Women. There's a profile picture frame on Facebook that you can include on your profile as well. Let's flood those feeds with USD pride. We'll also be utilizing a mobile giving platform later this morning. We hope you'll be inspired to text the word USD Women to the number 76278 to support this important initiative. You know, many of you are already involved in Women in Philanthropy, whether through a generous commitment, attendance at an event, joining us on social media, or maybe you're just invited by a friend and are here today curious to learn more. Regardless of what brought you here, we can't wait to share with you the magic of this program, the inspiring women who have made it possible, and our dreams for how this powerful network of women will lead our university in supporting USD students when they need it most. You know, something I remember President Gestring sharing with me when Women in Philanthropy was first getting started was the importance of telling the story of who we are as a university, and that without women, we can't tell that story. You know, for generations, the story of women at USD has been one of resilience, of courage, of a tireless and selfless commitment to the community. And as I've had the chance to sit and listen to women over this past year, and even more so during these difficult and uncertain times, I've had the privilege of witnessing that story lived out. You know, as like wives and moms, as healthcare workers and teachers, as businesswomen and community leaders, in every arena of their lives, women have stepped up. And together, each of their stories has contributed to our shared purpose, a shared mission and vision that represents hope for our university and, most importantly, our students. You're about to hear about that mission from members of our USD Women in Philanthropy Steering Committee, a group of women who only a short year ago boldly answered the call, if not us, who? If not now, when? So now I invite you to sit back, grab a scone, a cup of coffee, maybe a mimosa, and listen to the beginning of the powerful story USD women have to tell.
Vast majority of women are either the primary philanthropy decision maker or certainly participate in that decision. And we didn't have a platform for those women. And so I thought it was appropriate that we create that platform, that we have an opportunity to talk with each other and really work with each other on how we can make the experience better for students.
It was drilled into my head that I was given a lot in life and I had a responsibility to give back. And I think that if I can help others to understand that that's important and that they can do what we did and maybe do more than we did, I'll be happy.
I wanted to be able to make a difference somehow. And you know, you hope you're doing that in your work every day and the people that you meet, but when you're called to do something specific that allows you to have that kind of impact, that's what kind of got me excited about it and wanted to do more and understand how else can we do work together.
Everyone wants to see students be successful in the classroom, but also in life. And there are supports for those students throughout their career here. And enhancing that student experience, enhancing that story through Women in Philanthropy can be a very powerful tool.
And it's not that we're just supporting projects that benefit female students, but it's the women getting together to help direct where the funds go and the projects that are supported, because sometimes I think there is a different perspective when a group is led by women versus men.
When women get together, women get things done, and that is definitely happening, and they're making a real impact between the leadership programming, the mental health, and Charlie's Cupboard. And talk about 3 fabulous ways to enhance a student experience.
Women respond to other women, and to see women in leadership positions is inspiring.
I think the thing about Women in Philanthropy that I find most exciting is the opportunity that we're going to have to support different projects every year, and that the campus community is going to be able to apply, so to speak, for the funds that are available from the Women in Philanthropy program. So I think one of the best things about the program is that we can be flexible and evolve and meet the needs of the campus community as those needs evolve.
What this program stands for and what this program will do will ultimately make for more aware and well-rounded people. That's a snowball effect. Then you'll start to see kinder companies. You'll start to see industries moving in directions that are more conscious to society or globally conscious. I think it's a snowball effect that makes major impact.
So as you just heard, the mission and vision of Women in Philanthropy extends far beyond the support of a single program. But before we look to the years ahead at the difference this program will make across campus, we're going to take a look back and celebrate the impact you've already had. Elevate, which provides leadership development opportunities for the young women on the USD women's basketball team, was selected as the first initiative Women in Philanthropy would support during its inaugural year. But as you're about to hear, the lessons learned through Elevate really transcend basketball, and it's this perspective and wisdom imparted from one generation of women to the next that young women will carry on long after their time at USD.
Hi, my name is Kira Duffy, and I'm a recent USD graduate and former USD women's basketball player. Especially during these last few months, like many of you, I have been reflecting, taking the time to really take a step back and appreciate life with a new lens. And as I think back on my 4 years at USD, from my first experience as a USD student athlete, where I was introduced to the Elevate program for the first time, when we put on a clinic for kids on an outdoor court in Melbourne, Australia, to my last time putting on a jersey, I cannot help but feel overwhelmingly grateful. The Elevate program gives young women in our program the opportunity to develop off-the-court skills that are going to serve us for the rest of our lives. But more than that, it gives us perspective. Through Elevate, we had the chance to meet and be inspired by some incredible women. And it was the life lessons we learned from these women, hearing their stories of struggle and failure and perseverance, that I'm perhaps the most grateful for. It provided us the opportunity to get outside of ourselves and to realize that this is all so much bigger than basketball or any athletic accolades we may receive. And it is these themes that extend far beyond Elevate or basketball. These themes that have inspired this incredible network of women in Women in Philanthropy to come together and support students campus-wide.
Well, our goal as coaches here is to elevate our young ladies into strong, confident women by the time they graduate from the University of South Dakota. And can that happen just through bouncing a basketball and shooting a basketball? It can help make, I think, a difference in their lives, but really the true growth, we believe, happens in so many ways outside of basketball, off the court. And so the mentorship from other women that our young ladies have had through their experiences through the Elevate program really, we believe, is valuable for them moving forward.
Sometimes it's easy to forget the impact that we can have on one single person, but for those little girls that come to the camp, like, this is so cool for them.
Honestly, it's super humbling because I think so often we feel like we're just basketball players, and yes, everybody notices us on the court when we play, but then we feel like what we do behind doors isn't as big of a deal.
It was important for me to find a place where there was strong female leadership, and now that I'm here, I'm not just getting strong female leadership from my coaches and the faculty here, but also from the women in the Elevate program.
Some of our mentorship through the Elevate program, through Women in Philanthropy, has helped them establish some of those relationships, has helped them have some different experiences.
I grew up in a period of time when women really had to fight. Things were not given to us. We had to fight barriers. And it was worth the fight. I had a phenomenal career. I was very blessed. I had great mentors. So if I can pass some of that on and help the next generation, that's what's important.
Through this program, we're bringing back women who graduated here, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we all sort of have this shared purpose and this shared identity that is USD.
It's awesome to be able to look up to all these strong women.
Makes wearing South Dakota across our chest even more meaningful.
For lack of a better word, this is a sisterhood. This is a, family. And even after we graduate, we know that we're going to have these ties to this place that helped to shape us into who we became throughout those 4 years.
Elevate creates that idea of working together to get things done. It's built on team, it's built on leadership development and identifying needs and finding a way to solve them. And I think those young ladies on that women's basketball team embodied that for a response that translates into the work world, that translates into family life. It just translates into life in general. And so that's wonderful that they get to be inaugural program for women in philanthropy.
The Women in Philanthropy program, supporting our women's basketball initiative of the Elevate situation and program for us, it speaks volumes of who the people are here supporting the University of South Dakota. They are the people who make this place a really, really special, unique, wonderful institution. And so for the women who are behind this, from our basketball program, from our athletic department, from our university, we thank you for all that you do for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for seeing more in us and for seeing more and wanting more for this university.
So as you just heard, Elevate embodies the themes of women in philanthropy and was just the first step in us dreaming bigger, looking at how we could reach even more students and make a campus-wide impact. And after seeing the support and excitement from this community, Women in Philanthropy really became a catalyst for new ideas and partnerships with university leaders across campus, inspiring faculty, administration, and students to collaborate, innovate, and most importantly, to listen to the needs of students and then provide them with the resources to find a solution. As we move forward in these unprecedented times, it's these innovative solutions that will be integral to students' success, both on campus and in life after USD. Inspired by this mission, USD students identified a serious issue and asked, how can we provide a creative, accessible solution to address food insecurity on campus? Then, with the hard work of students and the support of Women in Philanthropy, Charlie's Cupboard became a reality.
The process was originally started by Carson. He always tells the story of how he had a friend that he didn't realize was going through food insecurity.
If this is somebody that we've known for 3 years now and didn't know they were experiencing this struggle, how many other students at USD have that same experience?
It's more apparent this year than probably in years past because so many of our students depend upon their part-time jobs, and many of those jobs weren't available because of the pandemic and the types of work that they were doing. I know statistically that women suffer from food insecurity situations more than others.
Students who came up to me and even my friends and talked to me, specifically girls in my sorority who had issues with food insecurity or just getting their next meal, and I thought that almost couldn't be possible in a way, because you're put in these groups when you're in college and you think that everything is just fine and dandy when really it's not.
And I feel like as a resident of Vermilion, I would have never realized, even my own peers and my classmates in the community, they already have a food pantry for the Vermilion community, but not for college students. So I think it's important to have a food pantry for students in college too, because people never realize how much of an issue that this can be.
Charlie's Cupboard first got started last last academic year when Hannah and I were student body president and vice president. That's where this project got its legs, and Women in Philanthropy came in and really got this ball rolling. The Women in Philanthropy made a very generous contribution to the Charlie's Cupboard campaign as a matching gift. It brought Charlie's Cupboard to a total fundraising goal of over $19,000, and this gift is driving the mission of Charlie's Cupboard for years to come to benefit students beyond just the cohort that I know, but for many in the future.
I think seeing these women come together and support students is not only encouraging, but it also gives us hope for the future. It kind of instills in us that we are still able to do all the things that we ever imagined from when we were little to now when we're growing up and going through college.
It'll just be able to allow them to focus on what they're really here for, and that's to go to school and have fun with their friends and not have to worry about where they're going to get their next meal.
When I was an undergrad in the 70s at another university, I knew all about food insecurity because I did have trouble accessing enough food. I know what they're experiencing, and it's tough, and it preoccupies your thoughts at a time when you should be devoting it to your studies.
We always talk about the Yote Pack, and that's really, I've noticed the strength of that when we've started working on Charlie's Cupboard. Campus community, the Vermilion community rallied behind this and has shown so much support, not just financial support, but people wanted to help in any way that they can, saying, I don't have money to help support this financially, but I have time. How can I help volunteer? What can I do to make this work? How can I spread the word? What can I tell people? And that's been the most inspiring part about starting Charlie's Cupboard for me.
I think that the students today have such big hearts, and that they do support each other, and they support each other in ways that are just heartwarming to watch. That matters, and to care about your community. And I do see the Coyote community caring about each other and hoping that every one of them can succeed in the same way.
So one of the things you just heard from students was the power of creating a space for these important conversations, asking the right questions so that we can work together to find a solution. You know, one of my favorite parts, and for those of you who know me, this is no surprise, of the work I get to do is sitting down and having conversations with women. Their insight and wisdom not only inspires me, but they help inform how we move forward as a program. And it's been through these conversations with women, university leaders, and with students that informed what initiative Women in Philanthropy selected for this next program year. As we considered the needs of our campus and our students, it became overwhelmingly clear that one of the highest priority student needs was in the area of mental health. And as we prioritized this issue, we quickly realized that the issue of mental health support for students was part of a much larger conversation, and an even wider network of women was working towards this same goal. Just to share a quick personal story with you, a few weeks ago, I was watching a morning show on TV, and a segment came on featuring women from an organization called Your Mom Cares. And as these women spoke, I was so touched and moved by their message and couldn't help but feel like this was the same conversation I've been having every day with USD Women surrounding kids' mental health. And so I decided to reach out to one of those women, Sharon Feldstein, on Instagram. Sharon is the mother of actors Jonah Hill and Beanie Feldstein, and the CEO and co-founder of Your Mom Cares. And much to my pleasant surprise, she responded, and we recently had the chance to visit over Zoom. I have to say, Sharon was awesome, and I like to think that we're friends now. If you're watching, hi, Sharon. We talked for over an hour, but I want to share with you just a few highlights from our conversation. Because while taking on the issue of mental health can seem so overwhelming, I think it can be really empowering and encouraging to know we're working in solidarity with a sisterhood of women that extends across the country and beyond.
Hi, I'm Sharon Feldstein. I'm Beanie Feldstein and Jonah Hill's mom. I am the CEO and co-founder and visionary behind Your Mom Cares. We are celebrity and influencer moms banding together for kids' mental health. We are trying really hard to change the dialogue from mental illness to mental wellness. We are so proud to be standing in solidarity with USD Women in Philanthropy as they come together to support students' mental health needs, which is so important. So thank you for recognizing that.
What would your
kind of just message to USD women that are getting behind this initiative of kind of encouragement and support on behalf of Your Mom Cares, what would your message to them be?
First, I would say thank you, because you're bringing light and hope and awareness to so many people. And so thank you for choosing to see that mental health is an issue in this country. And thank you for paying attention to it. And thank you for doing something like outside yourself, like to give back. So I'll start by saying thank you. And I've made my money or my career based on trends and styling and costume design and management. And sadly, I saw the trend going towards mental health. So not only, is it so important, but with COVID, I mean, our experts have now said there's going to be a tsunami of mental health issues with children and adults. My passion is kids leading happy and healthy and having the same opportunities and leading a productive, happy and healthy life and growing up to be happy and healthy adults. So for me, the cause is because it is an epidemic in children. And I want to help children overcome the epidemic that they are suffering through. I hold up this paper every time I speak and I say, what do you see on this paper? Nothing. That's what you see when someone has a mental health issue, because it's not visible. They didn't lose their hair. They aren't coughing, whatever. You don't see it, especially if a child is smiling. You don't know that same child could be suffering so deeply inside. College kids are really suffering. And the suicide rate, which is under the radar, nobody talks about it. Now it's virtual school in a lot of places, but for freshmen and sophomores in college is very high. We want to get rid of the stigma, and it's okay not to be happy every day. It's okay to have a mental health diagnosis. It's okay to go to a therapist. It's okay to get whatever help you need to try to make yourself feel better, not at the expense of others. Our natural instinct is to protect our children. If there's something wrong with our child or our friend or our spouse, we recognize it. We can draw attention to it, and we try to find a fix, a cure, a solution. And we know that if you ignore it, it's not going to go away. It's just going to get worse. But truly in my heart, though, I know what I am grateful for. And I know that gratitude can go a long way. Being of service can go a long way. I'm no goody-good. I'm just telling you that this is something, if everybody tried to do a little of, we'd move that needle far away. My message to the next generation is think outside yourself. It's very easy to say, I'm not happy, I don't have this, I don't have that, I wish I could do this. By the way, I do that. But I always look at the bigger picture.
So as you just heard from Sharon, mental health issues have impacted all of us, but especially our students as they navigate these incredibly challenging times. Here at USD, our counselors, faculty, and administration are doing everything they can to ensure students have the support they need, but right now the needs outweigh our resources. And as you are about to hear, we have a university family that cares so deeply about our students. And together, with your help, we're going to ensure that our students are supported when they need it most.
And not that long ago, I was on call. Our office offers 24/7 on call. So I was actually at the gym with my husband working out and was looking for a reason to quit, and I got an on-call call. So I got to step outside and take this call. And I was on the phone for a long time, probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and got this young lady through her situation. And about 2 days later, she wasn't my client. I had never met her in person ever. But I could hear her outside of my office asking for me, and the secretary directed her to come into my office, so she did. And it was this young lady that I spoke to on the phone while I was at the gym, and she just wanted to share with me that gosh, it's hard to talk about, that she was going to take her life that day. And she didn't, because I talked to her. I talked so much about being there for people, because it wasn't my counseling skills. I didn't say a whole lot. It was my listening skills. That just really hit me hard, like what we do is worthwhile.
Really is so important to prioritize this issue because nationally, there was a big study done this summer where they surveyed undergrad, graduate students, and professional students. And what they found was 1/3 of the students reported being depressed or having anxiety. This is almost double from the survey that they did last year. Now here on campus, we have seen a 30% increase in the number of students requesting services over the last several years. So we know it's a real need here.
Anxiety is always number one. Depression is always right up there, number two, or vice versa. It kind of depends on from year to year. At one point I took a stat that like 26 or 28% of the students that come into our center are actively contemplating suicide. So in any given week of 200 students in our center, I mean, we can say that it could be up to 50 students that are having active thoughts of taking their life.
I think that the other thing that students have struggled with is loneliness. I think that they're not as connected perhaps to the people who are physically present as we used to be 15 or 20 years ago. And so it's become a little bit harder to maybe reach out to people that you don't see as often.
And we have students that, used to come in 5 years ago and say, I just broke up with my boyfriend, I need somebody to talk to, or I just got in a fight with my roommate. The issues were really manageable. But what we're finding now is we have students that are very depressed, have anxiety, and even suicidal ideation. So it's so important, and there's such a large need at our university to continue to be able to serve our students.
When we think about the loneliness part of mental health, I think that that's problematic now as we see some need to isolate, as we see some need to not be as close to people as we otherwise might be.
Students, they so thrive on social relationships, and that's something that's really been taken away from them since March. So many of them have not been able to be with their friends and be on campus and be in classes and really being stimulated. And so it's been an issue for a long time, and now I see that it's even going to become more of an issue as time goes on with COVID-19.
The National Alliance of the Mentally Ill did a study that indicated 76% of all college students admitted to having some sort of a mental health crisis throughout the time that they were in college, but only 30% of those actually told somebody about it. And so that's the scary thing to me is, just not even just scary, but it's disheartening to think that so many people are struggling when they don't have to be. We have to make sure we have the resources to help them. But I also think the message is really important too, that we start even more so challenging that stigma and really opening doors to students to support each other and really listen to each other. When we're stressed and when we're experiencing a lot of adversity in our lives, there's a tendency to draw inward and focus so much on the problems and focus so much on the stresses and all the things that are happening within ourselves that we just naturally forget to pay attention to what's happening around us.
Through Women in Philanthropy are seeing or understanding that there are people who want to help, not because it's part of their job, but because they are trying to proactively make the world a better place, trying to proactively make USD better and more fulfilling for those students. I think that's something different that they don't see other places. Part of the mental health initiative, I think, and part of one of the things that Women in Philanthropy can help with, or that professors can help with, is simply to be a person who notices.
We give people our time, and we just hope it's what they needed in that moment, and it probably was.
We will really need all the tools and resources that we can possibly have. And for the Women in Philanthropy to jump up and want to help means just really everything to us.
The idea that there is a group coming together to address specifically how students are being kept from their best like what it is that's holding them back, which might be Charlie's Cupboard, which might be, you know, any of the other projects that are going to come, mental health initiatives, any of those things that Women Philanthropy are going to work on. It's nice to be a part of a group that is acknowledging that there are non-academic parts of student life that are very important. That's a big deal for me.
And having Women in Philanthropy kind of shed their light on issues pertaining to women and all across the spectrum really empowers us to learn more and look at other issues with a wider lens.
I'm so thankful that women are stepping up and helping the university. This really needs to be a priority for us, and we can't thank them enough for considering this. All of our counselors are so passionate, as well as our university administration, in making sure that our students have all the tools that they need to be successful. And certainly if you're having a difficulty with your mental health, students can't be successful. And so we are really, really pleased that women are helping us with this.
I'm sure, like many of you, as I watch that, it hits close to home. My mind and heart immediately go to how mental health has impacted my life or those I love. And I think for each of us, it is really personal. It permeates every aspect of our lives, and it's such a big, important issue. And something I've heard loud and clear from women since launching Women in Philanthropy is they want big ideas. They want to know what's going to spark real and lasting change. Quite simply, women want to make a difference. And as you just heard, there has perhaps never been a more important time or a greater opportunity to do just that. Today, you have the opportunity to make a real impact. You can text USD Women to the number 76278 or visit usdwomen.givesmart.com to make a gift to support our students. We've set a goal of raising $250,000 this year to support a campus-wide mental health initiative. And because of the leadership and generosity of some incredible women, we have already raised over $80,000. These funds will help support our Student Counseling Center and university's efforts to provide the resources necessary to meet USD students' mental health needs. Even though we're well on our way towards that goal, we're not there yet, and we need your help. Because as you've heard today, this work is so incredibly important. For those of you with us today who have already invested, who have shared your why, who are standing in solidarity with this community of women, we are so grateful. As you've seen, your advocacy and support has made a powerful impact, and now the sky really is the limit. For those who haven't made a gift yet, I ask you to join us now. We've made it easy to make a gift this morning. Again, simply text USD Women to 76278 or visit usdwomen.givesmart.com. Any gift of any size will make a significant impact on the USD Mental Health Initiative. Please take the next few minutes to make your gift. On your screen, you'll notice a few statements from other women on why they've chosen to support. Let's take a peek at how we're doing towards reaching our goal. Wow, thank you so much. Laurel, it's great to see you. Over $4,000. Thank you all so much. Kelly, thanks for your gift. Chris, it's great to see you. Thank you so much. Kim, it's great to see you. Thanks, Whitney. Thank you all so much. You're going to make a huge difference in a lot of students' lives. Thank you so much. Getting close to $5,000. Thank you, Bridget. Great to see you. Michelle, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Chris, great to see you, Chris. Getting close to $5,000. Keep it coming. Kelly, it's great to see you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Michelle. Almost to $5,000. Thank you, Angela. Great to see you. Just close to $5,000. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Angela. Thank you all so much for your generosity. Your gift today will be the catalyst for change, and it's going to ensure students are supported and have reason to hope. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Perhaps an equally important way to support women in philanthropy is to motivate those in your personal and professional networks to participate. We're going to make this event link available after the program, share it with your friends, and encourage them to get involved. You know, when we began this morning, we talked about telling the story of who we are as a university and who we are as a community of women. So before we leave you today, we want to share one of those stories. A story that began last year at our Women in Philanthropy event with the Merrigan family simply purchasing an auction dinner with the USD women's basketball team. But as you're about to hear, it became so much more. The story of a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and a community leader who, even amidst facing a health battle, has continued to live with grace, courage, and a tireless commitment to serving others, and whose life tells a story that has inspired a coach, a program, and a community. It's these moments, these stories, and women like Mary Merrigan that truly embody what Women in Philanthropy is all about.
To have their family be one of the individuals who purchased the auction is something that's been really special for us.
Trying to decide what was our top number going to be, and we went past that, and we went past that.
She was always the mom that was at school field trips and showing up whenever we needed her to be there, but she always worked full time.
She was a great example of just how involved she would get in different activities and things that were important to her.
And she always had multiple volunteer commitments that she had in the community, and so she was just kind of everywhere at once, always. When we won the auction item for dinner with the team, and my sister had been, she wanted to do it for her girls so badly because they love them, and that experience would be just absolutely unbelievable.
It was fun because we were all sitting in the same room with a ton of tables.
I couldn't believe that a bunch of, 18 to 22-year-olds want to come hang out with this family and spend time with us. It was so genuine and just comfortable. They sat down on the couch and they talked to the girls and they went and saw their bedrooms.
We also got to show them our rooms and everything. They admired my wall. So many Kyle stuff.
It was just so neat to see them get to interact, because when we're in the crowd, it's kind of more that, just the awe, and when they're making a great play, when everybody's cheering and getting rowdy. And so they just got to kind of show all of that off and just get that one-on-one attention. It shows them that they matter, and them showing up matters.
We have a message in our program that we want our young ladies to enjoy the precious present. And certainly Mary and her family, the entire Merrigan family, live that way all the time.
My mom truly does embody the spirit of Women in Philanthropy. She
has always just been so involved and dedicated to her family, to the community, and to really any organization that she thinks is important.
Well, Mary is someone who is always bigger than Mary Merrigan or the Merrigan family, and she's someone in this community since we've been here who is, you just see her everywhere trying to help out, being a volunteer, trying to find a way to help our women's basketball program, grow our pink game into just an experience for so many people, and someone who has really tried to raise the bar and help others. And we have 3 expectations: be your best, be thankful, and enjoy the precious present. And now we have a chance with Mary to watch her live those 3 expectations out, and certainly that's a great example for our young ladies.
It was an experience like no other. And so the prayer that Kira led before the dinner, all of us together in this room, some of those moments I'll never, I will never forget it. It was amazing. So thank you, honestly, to the team, because it could have been one of those things. It could have just been a dinner, right? It could have just been getting food together and sitting down and having small talk, but it was so much more than that. And it was, we will never forget it. It was great. Seeing the amount of people that have shown how important my mom has been for them and for their organizations has just been phenomenal to know that while we knew that everyone appreciated it, it's been great to just see people giving back and people stepping up and letting her know how awesome she is.
I just think, again, it's more, especially kind of in the crazy world that we live in this year, you just know that we all have to work together.
Taking that approach of being gracious and being empathetic and being kind, it makes all the difference in the world, especially during hard times.
We all have just as big of a role as anyone else does in all of this.
We say this in our program: every moment matters. And so how do you know what that experience is what effect that's going to have on one of your student athletes years from now? You don't know. But the reality is, what you can trust as a coach is that it will continue to build upon itself.
In that one night with their family, we got to experience what Women in Philanthropy is all about. Getting to witness firsthand the kind of woman Mary is, the kind of woman we want to emulate. Someone who, even when things are difficult, gives of herself. And then we see Ashlyn and Shaylin and these other young girls looking up to us. And we just hope that in some small way we can pass on those same qualities, that spirit of gratitude and service that their grandma embodies. Mary and the entire Merrigan family embody the ideals of Women in Philanthropy, the ideals that we are striving to uphold each and every day. We all hope that one day we can have the same impact on young women that they have had on us.
What a special woman and what a special family. It truly was an honor to share your story this morning. And on behalf of President Gestring and our Women in Philanthropy Steering Committee, the USD Foundation, the university community, and most importantly, the students who are going to directly benefit from your generosity, thank you. Thank you for not just wanting change, but for your willingness to take action. Stay safe and healthy, and we can't wait to be with you in person again soon. And as always, go Yotes.